Tales of Arise. The hell with the sunrise. Bitches like to be nailed by dumb guys. This is defense mode switching to attack mode, and one short week, not even a week. It's only been 6 days since the game came out, already at 1 million copies. Tales of Arise. 1 million copies in a short week. Congratulations, baby. 1.1 million in a short week. Screw a press conference. Press this on your conscience. DR, double block, whatever the hell it's called. What's his name? What Jadakiss said in that diss to freaking 50 Cent. But look, the game is actually pretty good. When I saw the demo, the people saying this game is going to be great, I was like, yeah, it looks like it is going to be great. Then I played the game. I bought it day one. I was thinking of not getting it, trying to penny pinch, but I got it. And man, you know what? The game is actually damn pretty good. And the way I'm only real in the beginning. I only got the third character, that little mage girl, and Zephyri's son. You know, I just got into that story, so I'm not far at all. But I'm already thinking that this game is gonna be one of my favorites. And if it keeps getting better from here on out, because right now I'm loving the battle system. The problem I always had with Tales games why I can never beat them. I think the only other Tales game I got was of Hysteria. I think that was it. And I was getting into that game, but like the battle system was way too fast. You killed enemies too quickly, and I was kind of like mad towards it. And the story was pretty good, but it was one of those RPGs that I played for a while, but once I put it down, I never went back to it. And that could be a combination of many things. It could be my fault, my short attention span, whatever. But I never went back to it. And I swore, my bad. But I swear that I was actually going to get back to it eventually. I just never did. I never got back to Tales of Arise. Hysteria, I think it's called. Damn, it's one of those games I never got back to. Eventually, and by the way, if you're wondering what's that noise, it's raining. Here at my job and it's raining, so now I'm stagnant. So that's why I'm recording this video. But anyway, I never got back to it. Then with the thing, Hysteria, or something with a B, the one with the girl as the main character. That game came out. My brother played it. He got midway through and then he stopped playing it. Like he had the same problem I had, which was, and it could be our short attention span, or it could be that the game didn't do its job to keep us interested throughout the whole way. Because anybody knows playing any video game, especially an RPG, where RPGs are built to make it last 40 to 80 to 100 hours. That's why RPG fans are RPG fans. Us JRPG fans, we love RPGs because you get the most bang for your buck for those games. Those games last forever. You know, if you don't have enough time during the day, for the most part, you're gonna be playing that game for like a month or so. If you don't, fucking destroy it and play it 8 hours a day and shit. But you get the most bang for your buck for the JRPG, especially when most games don't last so long. A fucking $60 JRPG will fucking last you forever. But one of the problems with JRPGs is that they gotta keep your attention the whole way through. And sometimes that's hard. And I try to push through sometimes. Sometimes I don't, but most times I try to push through an RPG. I want to finish it. I paid the money for this game, let me finish it. And I just could never finish that Tales game. And my brother played the next Tales game, and then he got halfway through, and then he stopped giving a fuck. And at the beginning, he loved the game, he loved everything that was happening, and then he just stopped. So, with a JRPG, man, one of the biggest missions for any JRPG is trying to keep our attention. To make us actually want to keep playing it through to the midway. And are the side stories, are they fucking useful, or are they just wasting time? Or do we love playing the game so much and we love the world that they invented so much, or we love the battle system so much that we're willing to go through all those stupid side stories? Don't matter. It depends. Is your side story great, or is the game itself so great and so expansive and the battle system so great that we want to play through it anyway, even if the side stories ain't shit? There's a lot to a JRPG, man. I'm not gonna say just any. There's a lot to any RPG in general, but non-Japanese RPGs are a lot different. It's like they're basically in another or completely different genre. That's why these got to be labeled JRPG for Japanese. But for Tales of Arise, so far, I'm loving the story. I actually love the battle system, because this time around the battle system isn't too like blink and you miss it. I don't know what was with the battle system before, but I remember the battles are so quick and fast. I was just like, come on, man. Like, how am I supposed to get into a battle system when 1 second it's done? Like, that's like if there's a turn-based battle system and as soon as you press X, the monster's dead and it's on to the next thing. It's like, come on, man. That gets boring. That's just as annoying as Xenoblade Chronicles take 2 years to finish at one battle system. Because that's always been the problem I had with Xenoblade Chronicles. Why I can never get into it and make it my favorite franchise, JRPG franchise, or my favorite RPG, JRPG, whatever. Because it takes forever to battle. First of all, the character's swinging the sword on his own as soon as he's next to the enemy. So all you gotta do is wait for the things to power up and then you press it. But that kind of gets boring. And you Xenoblade fans, you gotta kind of agree with me even if you do love the system. And then when you swing it on, the life takes so long to go down, man. I played fucking Mortal Kombat games. I played fighting games that the life bar goes down faster. You know where we love fighting games? It's because it can't be too quick, but it can't be too long. It has to be at the sweet spot. It has to be just enough combos where you're able to beat them within a minute and a half, 2 minutes. Maybe if you guys are real good and you're blocking each other and shit, you know, but it has to be done within 2 to 3 minutes. And 3 minutes is kind of pushing. Maybe 2 minutes might be the limit. 1 minute, 30 seconds or 2 minutes for one battle before you go to the next one, round 2. But for the JRPGs, they kind of have to have some kind of sweet spot as well. If it's turn-based, that's another animal. If it's turn-based, you know, you could take a while depending on what you do. You know? Like, Bravely Default system is actually pretty cool. You can kind of fuck yourself over by taking all the doing all the Braves and just fucking going after it, or defaulting and waiting. You know, that's a great battle system. If they could just up the graphics a little bit, make it more non-Nintendo 3DS-ish, and actually put some fucking effort into it, like Pokemon looks like they're finally about to, with their game, Arceus or whatever. That game could be one of my favorite franchises, but I don't want to get into that shit either. Bravely Default, the last Bravely Default is actually the best one. I actually really liked it, but the battle system for Tales is too quick. Xenoblade Chronicles battle system is too short. My favorite RPG is the last story because this battle system, they did the same whole, you know, if your character goes next to the enemy, he swings on his own. But the other things you get to do was a lot more fun and interactive, and it made you love battling. Xenoblade Chronicles system of battling isn't fun. It's very long and boring and tedious. It's kind of like what the Yu-Gi-Oh game is before Speed Duel and Rush Duels came in. Very long and very tedious. But the problem with JRPGs is that you always have to battle. And you always have to battle, and then most of the time the experience you get is do side quests. Well, they force you to do the side quests, but that doesn't make the side quests fun. It just makes you want to do them to gain experience, but I guess, whatever. Then it's like, what's the point of the battle system? I guess they know the battle system sucks. But this Tales of Arise, the battle system is actually damn good. It's not too fast, and it's not too long. It doesn't take you 2 years to fucking keep swinging at him before he finally goes down. You're like, finally, fuck. But it doesn't also do it in the blink of an eye. We're like, hey, I'm done. It's actually a nice sweet spot. The battle system is actually kind of diverse. You're able to swing, you know, with your hard swing or your with the R1 button, at least to the PlayStation. And then, you know, once the thing builds up, you can do your special. And then if you hit the enemy enough, if he's not going down, then you get to press the either up, down, left, right, or whatever. Just press one of those buttons. And one of the characters with you, you'll both do a double team attack, which is actually pretty fun as well. And it's fast too. It's kind of fast. It's not like some long Yakuza like a dragon fucking taking 3 years for all three of them to hit the one person shit. It's pretty fast. It's pretty quick. And all the the main character is a sword swinger. When he uses the fire blade, he hurts himself, but he takes even more damage from the opponent, which makes sense. The girl character, she's shooting her little shotgun beam attacks, which is actually pretty cool. The mage is the mage, of course. It's actually a really cool battle system. I actually love the battle system. Now, will I get bored of it eventually? Not likely. I'm a JRPG fan, and I like repetition if it's good repetition. Meaning, if it's fun, then I want it to be repetitive. I love it. If it's fun and diverse enough, repetition, battle system, any battle system JRPG, as long as they are, is always going to be repetitive. But it'll be fun if the battle system is great. The battle system Tales of Arise is great. The story is actually pretty great. The whole, your planet is enslaved by the other planet that's right next to you, and now you're sick of being a slave, and one of the girl characters from that planet, but for some reason she don't like the meter, want to get rid of the lords, doesn't really want to explain her position. You're this guy in the Iron Mask, you don't know who you are or where you're from, your memory's shot, but you have this mask over you, you don't even know what you look like, you don't know your name. But all you know is you're sick of being a slave, and you're sick of other people being slaves too. You meet up with this girl, somehow she has this weird little core thing that only you could use, so she can't use it, but you can't use it without her. So it's like you both need each other, you're both forced to work together, you both have kind of a common goal with taking down the Lord. So you fucking now have to go try to take down the Lord. You take out the first one, you know, your mask kind of breaks in half, you kind of know your name now, but you still don't have really much of your memory. You kind of try, you know that things are going to be answered as they go through. Now it was Zephyr, was one of the Crimson Crows, one of the Resistance, trying to fight against all these being enslaved shit. Now you're finding out about his son. You know he's gonna die. I know people would be like, oh, you looked that up. But nah, I know he's gonna die because you can't play as him. Whenever in a JRPG, if you have a character and you can't play as him, he's just working on your own, but you can play as everyone else, that motherfucker's gonna die. So I already know he's gonna die. And now he said, oh, I have my son. Yep, he's definitely gonna die and his son's gonna take over. I already can promise you that. I saw it coming a mile away from Xenoblade Chronicles when that guy died, you know, the big guy, and now this guy's gonna die too. JRPGs love killing big, older guys. If you're big, fat, or buff, and you're older, and you can't play as him, he's dead. But basically what I want to say is, man, Tales of Arise is a real great game so far, the little time I played it. If it continues to surprise me and be a great JRPG, like the last story was for me, this might be my new favorite JRPG. It might beat out Last Story, because I haven't played Last Story in a minute. And I don't know if I can play it again unless I want to buy myself a fucking old weed in the game and then the nunchucks and all that bullshit. I mean, playing that game is a chore as it is, because you have to connect the Wii controller to the Pro controller, and that's a pain in the ass. Because anytime you try to use the Pro controller on the Wii, you have to have that shit connected to the other controller, so it's just dangling there trying to hit your dick. So, to be honest with you, I'm loving Tales of Arise. And if it continues to make me like it with its story and all this shit, because the girl character, the Rena girl, I forgot her name, that's what I'm saying, calling her Rena. I know that that's the name of her race, the other planet. She's kind of a bitch and kind of like what the fuck am I saying? Kind of hold offish. You know, she keeps everybody at distance. You know, if you touch her, you get electrocuted. But the main character doesn't take her shit. He's not one of those main protagonists. First of all, he's not silent, which is a plus. But he's not one of those protagonists like, oh, strong woman, I'm a bitch. No, he actually talks back to her and tells her to shut up and gets at her too, and that's what makes me love this RPG so much more. You know how many JRPGs have the strong female character, the main character being a punk bitch? This guy actually talks back to her. I love it. So far, I'm loving the story. I'm loving the dynamics. I'm loving, you know, the mystery they're holding off until later. Can't wait to find out the story between her and him, his past, well, what's her real motives. You know, can't wait to see Zephyr die. Well, actually, I can't wait because I actually like that guy. But, you know, his son is being a dick to him, but we'll find that out too. There's a lot of mystery, you know, they're not explaining everything right off the bat. They're kind of leaving it off. And I'm loving all the stories so far, from the main story to the side stories, the characters, onto the directing, the battle system. The monsters are, you know, that you fight, you know, the monsters, they're straight. But so far, the whole thing, I'm loving everything about the game. There's not one part where I'm like, you know, maybe the side quests, but the side quests are not, you know, they're side quests are side quests. Maybe they get better later on, but they are what they are. But all I'm saying is I'm loving the game so far. And this game so far, a lot of people saying it's game of the year, best JRPG of the decade. We're in 2021. The decade just began. But a lot of people saying this is their favorite JRPG of the year, game of the year, blah, blah, blah. This game has the potential to be my favorite JRPG of the year. Might be my favorite JRPG of all time. It's already getting there, you know? Because all these new JRPGs have the potential to be greater than all the JRPGs I've ever played in my past, as long as I don't have my nostalgia goggles on. But they got to be able to hit all the right corners like some of those old JRPGs did. Like the ones on the PlayStation, each JRPG was unique to itself. Every JRPG had its own shit. Every JRPG had its own battle system, its own story, and they're all great. Music, all that shit. That's probably the one thing I can say about this game is that the music is meh. But I'm not really a big music guy anyway, so I don't really give a shit. But Tales of Arise are hinted and they're what's it called? Knocking it all, no, shooting it all, firing it all, there you go. Firing at all cylinders. Right now, they're just killing it. And I'm seeing why people are praising it so much. The reason people praising it so much is what made me buy the game, because I was kind of holding off. Maybe I should get No More Heroes 3. But that game is kind of goofy, and I don't know if that kind of turns me on or not, because Japanese humor is kind of off. But so far, I'm loving this game, and once I'm done, once I beat it, I'll come on here and say if it's my favorite JRPG or not. If it beats out the last story. And maybe before I even make the decision, I have to play the last story again, because I remember loving that game to death. Alright, enough yapping. This is defense mode switching back to attack. No, there's attack mode switching back to the... I don't even know my own fucking lines. This is attack mode switching back to defense mode, and I am out. Peace.